Hi, this is a video regarding types of angles and angle relationships. So you should all have this packet. You will need your pencil, and you might want to have, it's up to you, but if you have highlighters or even light markers like a yellow or an orange, that might brighten it up a little bit. You will also need your notebook, your math notebook, because these are going to be cut out and glued into your notebook. So let's get ready for a type of angles. If I'm speaking too fast or writing too fast, pause this as you are writing all this down. So we're going to first start the type of angles. Acute angle. Now this is not new to you guys. You know the acute angle. In order to be an acute angle, an angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees. So less than 90 degrees. So it's an angle that's less than 90 degrees. And what they have here, now this is hard to do because it was in color, so it was really cute, but I couldn't print in color. So an acute angle, less than 90, think, oh, it's so cute, it's small, it's cute, and she's like blushing and says, oh, stop it, you. So an acute angle is an angle that is smaller, less than 90. The measurement of the angle is less than 90. Obtuse angle, well, it's an angle whose measure is greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180. So we can write compound inequality later, but greater than 90, but less than 180. So the obtuse angle is going to be greater than 90. All right, so if you want to kind of decorate it up a little bit to make it a little bit more jazzier. Now the right angle, and you know that's a 90 degree. You're going to see this word complementary. Complementary angles, or when two angles form a right angle, they are complementary. And this is the correct way to spell it. I was misspelling it the other day, and I was putting an E here instead of an I. But a right angle, an angle whose measure is 90 degrees, if two angles form a right angle, they are complementary. So complementary angles would be like if we had to split this into like two different angles, and together they add up to 90. So our right angle, okay, and the right angle, the symbol, as you guys know, this symbol represents the angle being a right angle 90 degrees. Here's the word supplementary that we've talked about this week. A line, when it forms a straight line, the measure of a line is 180 degrees. It forms a straight line, and so if two angles form a line, they are supplementary. They're called supplementary angles. So you can always, if you know the measurement of one angle, you can find the other one by taking 180 minus that. You guys did a great job of knowing that. So this is like 30 and this is 150, and all together they equal 180. Okay. Now angle relationships. A lot of these are going to be familiar, but I thought it'd be nice to have these all in one spot where you see the names. Angle relationships, vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent, which means they're the same. Vertical angles are congruent. And they're also known, sometimes people call them like opposite angles. And so you guys did really well here. The measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3, which is 50 degrees. So if that's 50, that's 50. Then if this is 130, and that's 130. So measurement of angle 2 equals the measurement of angle 4, and they're both 130. The way 1 and 2 together, you guys were doing this already, the measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 2 equals 180 because they are supplementary. And then angles 3 and 2 equal 180. 1 and 4 together equal 180. 3 and 4 equal 180. So those, because they're on the straight line, those two angles are called supplementary angles, and that's why they are adding up to 180. Identify the 4 pairs of vertical angles. Well, the first pair, now this doesn't have to be in the exact order, but if I start with 1, what's the vertical angle to 1? Well, it's 4. So angle 1 and angle 4. The angle sign looks like your less than sign, but flat here on the bottom. So that's a pair. Angle 2 and angle 3. Angle 5 and angle 8. And angle 6 and angle 7. That is just recognizing vertical angles, which you guys are doing a great job with. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Adjacent angles or linear pair This is what I said yesterday in class. Linear pair are supplementary. So adjacent angles are supplementary. They are also called a linear pair. So a linear pair means it forms a line, and usually it's two angles that form that line. So those two together add up to 180. And you guys did a great job with this. So knowing that if this is 65, now you guys did this well yesterday. Well, we know y is going to be 65 because of the vertical angles. But then 65 and x, these two together, are linear pairs. They're supplementary. So you're taking 180 minus 65, which is going to be 115. And then z is going to be 115 because it's supplementary to 65, it's supplementary to y, or it's vertical to x. I love the vertical angles because once you find one, the other one's going to be true because they're congruent. All right, so that is not new. Your next page, I know it's stapled together. I just stapled it so it's all together. Parallel lines cut by transversal. This is what we've been working on, okay? And it tells us line L is parallel to line M, and N is a transversal. So it's right here, the word transversal. Using the diagram on the left, identify the following information. Identify the acute angles. Which ones are less than 90? Well, angle 1, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 8. Identify the obtuse angles. Well, that's going to be all the other ones. Angle 2, angle 3, angle 6, and angle 7. Okay. Identify the pair of vertical angles. So which ones are vertical? Which ones are opposite of each other? They share the same vertex and they're the same measurement. So we have identified the pair. So we have angles 1, and I'm going to put an and sign here, and angle 4, angle 2, and angle 3, angle 5, and angle 8, angle 6, and angle 7. Those are vertical pairs. Identify linear pairs or supplementary. So don't write past that because you're going to cut that off. So write supplementary here. Linear pairs. Well, 1, 2, there's a bunch of them. So you can do angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4, angles 5 and angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8. You could also, 5 and 7 is a linear pair, 6 and 8 is a linear pair, 2 and 4, 1 and 3. So those are also linear pairs, or they're supplementary, and you guys do that really well. Now here is a new term that I kind of said a little bit, but we didn't really stress it. Angle relationships and parallel lines. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent, which again means equal in measure. Okay, they're all lines and they're equal in measure. Corresponding angles are congruent. And here's what I want you to look at. This is where a highlighter might come in handy. This corner and that corner, they are corresponding angles, meaning if I took this whole shape here and translated it down, that X would lay on top of this one. They would be in their same relative position. This Y and that Y, that angle there would also be the same. Z would be the same here, this angle and this angle. And then last, these would be the same. So this X would be congruent. This is the congruent sign if I haven't told you guys yet. X is congruent with X. Y is congruent with Y. Oh, sorry guys, my light went off. Hold on. Gee Louise. Come on. All right, hold on. There we go. Z is congruent with Z, and W is congruent with W. So what they're just saying is, if we knew this one, we'd know this one. Now, this is a new term we haven't talked about yet, corresponding angles. All right, so now we're going to identify the following. We're going to identify we're going to find the measure of each one a couple of different ways. So the measure of angle A, we can find from a couple of ways. We can find by vertical angles, we can find by supplementary, or corresponding angles. If this is 145, this is 145. Then B is down here. Well, if that's 145, this is 145, also corresponding. So, vertical angles, but corresponding. Then X, we can find X by the corresponding, these two are corresponding. So if X is here, this is 35. And Y, if that is 35, Y is 35. Now, again, we can find it by vertical angles too. So there's a lot of things, or supplementary. So there's now an announcement.
Students, it's now time for a tornado drill. Please go to your appropriate location for a tornado drill.
Okay. I'm going to pause it.